No, it's definitely on Steam. Let me just pause this a minute. On my controller there are 4 extra buttons. Currently on playing TSW, they map themselves to become a second set of ABXY. I wonder if it's possible to remap those buttons to something like the 101 on the AFB system. I don't know what's going on there then. That sounds like they're not actually separate buttons, Train Boy. If you're not using an official controller, I don't know what they're going to map to. So, on an Xbox controller, you've got your ABXY here, and the D-pad down here, and 2 joysticks. And the D-pad is set up for gears and so forth on the 101 and so forth. On a PlayStation controller, again, you've got ABXY effectively here with square, triangle, cross, and square, and circle. And over here you've got effectively the D-pad buttons here, which again, gear up, gear down, that kind of thing. But if you're using a no-name brand, I don't know what those buttons will map to. Right. Master key on. Put it in forward. Put that on. Get the brakes off. You've got 2 buttons on the back, like palm buttons. So we've got, on these controllers, you've got bumpers at the top and triggers at the bottom. Those are your throttle up, throttle down, brake up, brake down. Hey, Boeing. I want instrument lights. Don't want tail lights. Marker light top, and let's do one of those. I don't care which one it is. Just leap onto the track. Open that. Close that. Go. And let's turn that on and that on. Oh, you mean under here? Yeah, I have no idea what those are going to map to. They'll almost certainly map to the emulate original buttons, yeah. Or they're mapping to the new controller buttons on the bigger Xbox controller. In which case I've got no idea. But no, the game has no way of remapping the controller. How do you mean the title differs, Cyclone Goo? Oh, okay, so this name is Mount Route 3 Reloaded from Just Trains. I don't know. I don't know what Just Trains 1 is. It's the same route, whether it's the same version of the route. You want me to be a Royal Train Crucible? But Moggy isn't on board. Rivanis, I'm currently working on giving your scenarios a little extra spice. I've begun doing Lua scripting. Got 1 scenario down so far. Any other advice what you can do besides cinematic characters and have fancy text boxes? Yeah, so one of the things that I've done in the past is check to see whether or not the player breaks certain speed restrictions, and then start telling them off. You can use Lua to lock a control and say the control is stuck, now what are you going to do? So we have some windows, so proper volume can be experienced. Rustproof. What do I prefer, TS or TSW? I'm going to say TSW because I play it a lot more. It's a more modern game, but it's also my job to run TSW a lot more. But that doesn't mean I don't dislike. That doesn't mean I dislike TS. Not at all. I still play TS. I still enjoy TS. But if the same route was in both, I would run it in TSW. Castle Douglas Signalman. Don't mind only setting the date properly below you. 2020. 05 as well. Very good. Thank you very much, Mr. Castle Douglas Signalman. Steep old ramp out of Manchester. Hey there, Steam Trains Unlimited. The 153 is part of Totem, isn't it, Cyclone? Because that's on Steam. Oh, which one's in Totem? Oh, okay, I see, I see. I think they came out at the same time, and the scenarios for the 153 maybe were on Totem or something. Or I'm just utterly making it all up. Matty, you work at Manchester Vic as Northern Rail Head of Customer Service. Oh, well, welcome to the stream, Matty971. We've just departed Manchester Victoria. Dragging this TEA train reluctantly out of Manchester Victoria. This route or Tees Valley? This route. I like Tees Valley, don't get me wrong, but of the two, I probably get more out of this one. What happened there? It's a fake 3D effect. But it is 3D. But it is a fake 3D effect. It's super efficient. But it is 3D. So they can see there it's just a texture and there it's 3D. I can't remember what the it's not it's kind of a variation. It's not bump mapping, but it is a trick. I can't remember what it's called, but it does create 3D. It's not like bump mapping, which isn't 3D. Bump mapping is just clever shadowing. Yeah, I can't remember, Ed. I haven't got a clue. It's one of those things that Ralph explained to me and I got, and now and I forgot. It's like all the different clips and things that it does for these junctions. The track rendering system is amazing. Yeah, it's got jointed track, and in fact, yeah, there's a joint. You'll notice it's actually cut the rail there as well. That's all dynamic, and as it goes over, you'll hear it clack. The joints are quite cool. What happens is you lay the track, and you can either lay jointed track or not jointed track. But either way, you can delete the joints or you can move the joints, and they're just these arrows, and you just slide them down where you want them to be, and they can even be offset. So some countries, the joints are like next to each other. Some of them are offset like that, and the audio of the clack is based on when a wheel strikes the joint. Baked is the word drawer for the tunnels, but yes. Train I'm missing from Manchester to Leeds is the Oldham loop. Do you mean the one that heads off up? I think it's this way. No, the one that goes off up this way, and then comes back down. It comes down there and then down via Bradford. Do you mean that one? Not familiar. Yeah. That was actually when we were originally looking at this. We were looking at doing this line, or the one that goes up that way, and we chose on this one. I mean, in an ideal world, what I wanted was both lines and the link down to here, but yeah, because that's why a Brighouse, if I remember rightly. I thought the idea of going into Bradford, changing ends, and coming back out to Leeds was quite cool. There's no news on the editor at the moment. Steam Chains Unlimited. I'd love to say more about the editor, I really would, but I'd just get crucified. When there are hard facts to talk about the editor, then we'll talk about hard facts. Yes, the 110 was a problem, yeah. Calder Valley, that's the name I was thinking of, Yorks, yes. No, the community would, one way or the other. Either because too much news, not enough news, the wrong kind of news. It's just safer and easier for me to say nothing until it's 100% absolute fact. Yes, there was the stream I did on the official channel about the editor, wasn't there? It's a hard old slog up this hill. Can someone find the link to the editor stream on the Dovetail site, on the YouTube channel? Chris, thank you for the cheers. Hey Stranson, how's it going? ICN 2005. This is the Northern Trans Pennine, Manchester to Leeds in 1983 or thereabouts, and we are on our way to Leeds. We've not long left Manchester. Is that Manchester Metrolink, Matty? A new line of... I don't know anything about... Your best way to get information about River Games is to talk to River Games, ICN. I'm not sure what their plans are, probably any more than you are. Ferramero, charity stream is going really well. 2020.05. That's how much money we got. Well, that's how much money we raised. That's how much money you guys raised. It's amazing. Oh, hello. Oh yeah, and break, yeah. 15 limit. Totally not paying attention. Thank you, Ed. This is the Stalybridge junction. Moggy! How do you spell Stalybridge? Is that how you're supposed to pronounce it? Should spell it right then. Put the Y before the L if you want Staley. And put the L before the Y if you want Stally. Surely. An ICE planned? I can't talk about future plans, but yes, an ICE would make a lot of sense. No, and they make less sense the more north you go. I know we're just as bad down here. Hey BRCW, long time no see, you alright? Whistler Thrash, send trends. Whistler Thrash. Let's go and be signalman. For a minute there I thought I saw an uncollected map collectible. Ooh, 101 hype. It's like if you ask anyone locally how Chatham is pronounced. It hasn't got a T and an H in it. Well, it's supposed to be pronounced Chatham, but even I call it Cham. I'm slowing it down because I better speed up a little bit or we'll not get there. But I want to rev it right up because we're going to get the speed up shortly. ICN, thank you very much for joining. Yeah, that's what I'm waiting for, Ed. Then I'm going to thrash the heck out of it. No, I thought I put the camera right next to the exhaust. Yeah, lights are on, but they're useless, Taylor. It would be more effective strapping a person to the front with a lighter. Good night, Hectic T. There's the lights. I mean, it's like a 60-watt bulb at best. Phase Laser, thank you for the follow. We would bask in his shining glory, is that what you mean, Matt? Yeah, I opened the doors so that we could have full thrash audible from the cab. It might well be against the rules, but you know what? It's my game. I'm a driver, I can choose the rules. Shall we be a train spotting birdie? No, we can't be a train spotting birdie. Boo. Be a train spotting birdie perched in the trees. Yeah, this is a long train. I've weighted this one to match the power of two Class 40s. So when it's on its steepest gradient, it can't accelerate. It is meant to be heavy. Yeah, the glint on the rail that came out effect works beautifully, doesn't it, steam trains? It actually reflects the sky. See the sky in there? It's a cheaty effect, but it works. It's on full chat as entrance. Can't get it anymore. Yeah, we're on a 1 in 151 gradient up. We're on our way to Stanage Tunnel, and yeah, we're maxed out, full power. These are loaded containers. There's 18 loaded TEA tankers, which is what, 1,800 tons. Ed, confirm for me. Bit over 1,800 tons for 2 little Class 40s, and I say little because they ain't that good at pulling. It's a combination, Muricom. I think they LOD back to 2D trees as well. So I think these trees are all 3D. But in the newer routes, I think we use 2D trees. But even these ones do become very simple as they get further and further away from the track. At this distance, they're super complicated. There's a lot going on in them, but they reduce down really quickly to quite simple models. They're generated using a thing called speed tree. Fairway, you finished the scenario with minus 24,576 points. That's amazing. That's an achievement. It's a balance, isn't it, Ed? That's the thing. Sometimes they're a bit close, and sometimes the 3Ds go a bit too far away and there's a performance impact from it. But hey, Ed, if you had your way, there wouldn't be any trees on this road, would there? Let's be honest. Yes, I've got my settings dialed up. So on my settings, I'm rendering detail further out using the ini file. So this is more detailed than it is out of the box. I'd like to see a Riviera line in TSW as well as N-Trends, but I want to make sure that we get the C represented correctly, or not correctly, but in a really nice way. That I see as the biggest challenge to the Riviera line. The Dawlish coastline needs to look amazing. Quite possibly, Danny, but the problem is if you look for mods for something like the C, it'll be for if a C game wants it, which means it's ridiculously expensive because it'll be completely appropriate for a C game to do that. Whereas what we need to do is come up with something which looks amazing and costs nothing in frame time. Flight Sim World Clouds. Oh no, that's a different thing. That's the virtual, the real cloud system, True Sky. It would look amazing, but it would cost you frame rate. It's not cheap. In reality, can you run the 40 this long without it tripping out? I'd need Ed to reply on that. I mean, I'm only just tapping on the red. Phase the 101 is just hasn't been updated or hasn't been added. It was a 3-car one built specifically for TVL. The 2-car one was built for Northern Trans-Pennine. That's all there is to it. At some point, the 3-car may appear in Northern Trans-Pennine, but they were just DMUs built for each of those routes. It's really simple. Ed's got me paranoid now. Every time I come up here. Because there's a signal that shouldn't be here, just at the tunnel mouth. And this green means I'm only clear to the tunnel mouth, not into the tunnel. Great. Oh, hello. Lost grip. Yeah, it's a bit of an issue, Cyclone. My understanding is that it's just that one on the tunnel entrance that's not supposed to be there. So the I think it's this one that we passed. That one shouldn't even be there. These are protected by distance, but the distance only covers that one and not that one. So it's kind of... it's wrong. Shouldn't drive with the cab light on either, but meh. At least it gives something to look at. Has my camera gone all funky? No, it's fine. You can still get a Class 117 for TS1, but it's in the North Somerset pack now, rather than... there was a pack on its own, but it was taken off for various reasons. And then Thompson took it, did a bunch of work on it, customised it for the North Somerset Railway, and then it came out again in that pack. So you can get a 117, but it's not the original 117. Is the 33 a good loco on TSW? So don't ask me about what you think is a good loco or not. As much as I'd like to tell you, I'm clearly biased. I'm also not going to say something is bad. So you should ask the viewers what they think. Get their honest opinion. Oh, we're almost through the tunnel. 40 limit at the other end. They're using a squeaky toy as a weapon against you, Moggy. Ah, I see. The plan that's been discussed while you were away is being executed. Excellent. Keep going, gents. West Somerset does not have AWS, no. Moggy, wait until phase 2 when they start waving ice cream in front of your face and not letting you eat any. Restproof Ace, I have no idea what the company's plans are for Great British Railway journeys. That'd be a good one for the support or in a Facebook group or something like that. I'm sure the company would like to know if it's something you want to see more of and what you'd like to see. We're on our way down to Mayfield now. 10 miles. A step too far, threatening me with ice cream. Ooh, NHS is over 1,000 now as well. They're both over 1,000. No, Great British Railway Journeys is another TS 2020 edition. The M3 and the M7? Well, the M7 is a super modern train, so it drives smoothly. It's got a much more open cab compared to the M3. That's not saying much. But the M3 is really quite lumpy to drive. Yeah, you look at the profile of the way that the current is given to the motors as it accelerates. It sort of goes up and down. And I imagine this thing is like this when you're accelerating. So it is quite a different experience to drive it. It's got different sounds. It's just an old world. You know, it's like going from, say, a 377 to a 4 Sig. Why when the door's shut on the M7, make sure your brake's fully in the brake position. Sometimes it's tempting to move your throttle master controller into the neutral, ready to throttle up. But actually you need to make sure it's left in the brake position, or else you can't change the doors. Partial open, so open everything in front of me, open everything behind me, all that stuff works, yeah. But you can't select which doors to open. Which one is the partial open button, Trainboy? The red one. Oh, okay. No idea then. I'm running the M7 next, actually. The 31 will substitute in York Sandy. Yes, if you own the 31, it will substitute in as one of the active locos in the roster. Burstproof? No, I can't talk about it. To be honest, I can't talk about it, but I have no idea. Oh, hang on. We've got Huddersfield coming up. Oh dear. I just realised that. As soon as I saw that rock face, I'm like, oh. As soon as I see that 50, go through that 50, I'm going to get told drop to 15. It won't be terrible. Well, I don't know about that. We'll be doing 40 through Huddersfield. We've got a yellow. This is going to be bad. We might stop for the red. Full astern. Now that just shuts down the traction motors. Ah, it's better. We're slowing down now. Oh, because we're going slower, the tread brakes are kicking in harder now. In fact, I'm going to release the brakes now. Otherwise I'll be stopping. Kicked by the wagons. Oh, using DFDS, nice. We used DFDS when we went to Legoland when I was really young. Why have you got Kit T in the cab, JP? It's ridiculous. Is Sam banned from driving oil trains? Why? What happened, Ed? This feels like a story that I should know. Preemptive. Well, you trust me with it, Dad. Nimshi Gaming, thank you for the follow. No, these are TEA wagons, Taylor. That's why I'm always explicit about calling them TEA wagons, not T-wagons. Got 12,782 followers, bad guy. So we're just going as far as Merefield, Train Boy. We're not going the whole way to Leeds. This one just goes to Merefield because it actually heads off our the branch. So we get to here and stop, and then the AI runs it down here into the yard over here. Oh, come on, Ed. How am I supposed to pronounce it then? Merefield. Merefield. Fair enough. Slow it. Yeah, I know slow it. No, I need to keep Ed on side, Chris. Ed does great work. I need to keep him on side. Valentine, thank you for the follow. Yeah, both cab doors are open, Train Boy. It's air conditioning. Oh, it definitely works both ways, Ed. No, fully fitted. The A in TEA should tell you it's fully fitted. Blind Scotsman. There's no ramps on this route, Train Boy. What's wrong with them, FaZe? Yeah, what was that score you got on that scenario when you couldn't release the brakes in your train properly? Oh, we're taking the. Well, we would be taking the freight line, wouldn't we? Because we're on the freight line. See, normally you'd be taking the left turn here to go around the tunnels and back up onto the other side because it's a generally faster route. One and a half miles. Gentle braking now. 1 mile to Murfield. Nearly said it wrong. Sneaky M3 teaser. No, I'd like to be able to go to work tomorrow, train boy. $500 yards. So we have to find out if it'll stop. Inaccurate marksman, let's make it a nicer number. 222.22. But I just ruined that. Inaccurate marksman, thank you very, very much for that donation. That was 200 quid from Inaccurate marksman. And I ruined that. That was 222.22 he set that to. Yes, thank you very, very much indeed, Inaccurate marksman. That's phenomenal. I'll get to this in a minute. Get to it. Hang on a second, folks. It's better.